How's it going, everybody? This is Anything at All. I'm your host, Zach, joined once again by the one and only. I feel like I always introduce the guest by the one and only because it is the one and only. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks,
again.
Man. Yeah.
We're here
Glad
to
be
talk.
back.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad we can make this. We're a little late on the game on this one. Normally, we want to get it out there as soon as possible. Waiver wire, week 3, and week 2's NFL recap. So let's get into really quick the recap, shall we, of week 2. What happened? What stood out to you? What was some surprising upsets? Did we hit any of our predictions from last week?
I don't know.
I don't really remember anything. Oh, I did predict that Antonio Brown would play. Did I not?
Yeah.
And he's back.
Did good.
Wearing number 17. Did good. Once again, Patriots looking mighty nice. Any other outstanding performances?
Yeah, I feel like we keep talking about Chris Godwin. I feel like, it's not like anybody thought he was going to suck.
No.
I don't think anybody thought he was going to be as good as he is. And I want to pull up this tweet that I read earlier.
I mean, I honestly, for whatever reason, when I go into when I'm going to do the draft and I see players like injury-prone players, I'll pass them up.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dalvin Cook. I didn't even give him a thought if I would have the chance to draft him. Fault me for that if you want. I mean, I'm paying for it now. Like I shouldn't play that way. I should think of it as a new season, unless like Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
I had a feeling just because he's getting paid the bucks and he's going to the Jets. You're playing for the Jets, and
Right.
So, what's Godwin?
Yeah,
what is
so
the tweet?
This is a tweet. The guy that tweeted this, his name is Nate Hamilton. And so this was the only wide receivers with double-digit targets from inside the 10-yard line in 2018. DeAndre Hopkins with 15, Michael Thomas with 14, Chris Godwin with 11, Juju Smith-Schuster at 11, Julian Edelman 11, T.Y. Hilton 10. And we've already seen, two touchdowns by Chris Godwin in the last 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, I think if you drafted Mike Evans, you're probably hurting right now because
for sure.
If you drafted Chris Godwin, you got him at his ADP was lower, and he's gonna blow up, man. He's gonna be a top 10 for sure.
You're talking about the league that we're in, and I have done exactly that.
Did you draft
I
him?
drafted.
There you go.
I
man.
drafted. No. Sorry, not our league, but in another league. I have Mike Evans. I drafted Howard and Godwin. I had the 3 of them, and I dropped Godwin. And then I dropped Howard also for the Raiders tight end.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that the everything shifts then, and the focus goes more on Godwin now, and we get Evans rolling. I mean, like I said, you don't drop your your number ones unless
don't panic on week 1.
Would you consider dropping Le'Veon Bell if you had him?
No,
you keep
he'll
him?
be okay. Yeah, he'll be fine. I think he's gonna be good.
Okay. What else? What are some other players this week that are kind of shaky that you might be considering to drop? If you had anybody on the Jets, I would wait one more week. Oh, disappointment of the week. Deshaun Jackson.
Yep, he's out for at least 2 weeks.
Yep, and another Eagles player is also out. Aguilar.
No, he's
or
playing.
Nelson.
No, he's Nelson Aguilar's playing.
Oh, same guy.
I don't know.
There's another Eagles player who kind of screwed you over. Let's see.
So many injuries right now.
Oh yeah,
I can't even keep track.
So yeah, I can go over last week. So last week, week 2, if you had Josh Gordon, that was a bust.
Yeah.
David Johnson bust. Damian Williams bust.
Yeah.
Njoku bust. Ingram bust.
I think we're at the point now where we have to start talking about a lot of different running back scenarios.
Oh, dude. So
yeah,
okay. Because right now, if you look at your waiver wire, you're most likely not gonna have a lot of options, right?
Yeah, it's getting pretty thin. I mean, I feel like right now there's not a lot of healthy running backs out there.
No.
So you're either getting a handcuff. There's guys at value, and we're going to talk about them.
In the waiver
to pick up, yeah.
Okay. So
I don't know if you want to talk about that now or later.
Well, what do you got? Do you want to talk other recaps real quick?
Yeah, so one guy that a lot of people are talking about, we kind of talked about him last week a little bit. A lot of different sources have been talking about him, is Raheem Mostert from the 49ers.
Oh, the running back?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, obviously that's going to be in deeper leagues, but he's in a committee, so.
Yeah. He's in a committee, but he's for
the Niners.
The Niners,
yeah.
right? He's in a committee, and so is Kansas City with Carlos Hyde. The way I see
Carlos Hyde is now in
Kansas City
Texans.
What? When that happened?
I want to talk about him. It happened at the beginning of the season.
Oh,
I think like right after.
Is he with the Are you sure?
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde.
Yep. Crazy.
Well, with Breida.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Breida and
on
Mostert are kind of in a committee right now.
Right, and then Tevin Coleman's also on that team, and so I was thinking, well, do you pick up Tevin Coleman if someone's dropped him, or do you think that San Fran will run the hot hand and keep Mostert?
I think Mostert's going to be pretty involved. I mean,
through the rest of the season.
He's not going to be the guy, but they're involving him in a lot of different plays and packages. So there's value there. I mean, in deeper leagues, I would say. In my notes here, I said deeper leagues only. So if you're maybe in a 12, 14-team league, or you're in a 10-teamer that plays 2 flexes or something like that, and you just need some guys or need a bye week fill-in, that's something to look at. Frank Gore. Frank Gore this week?
Yeah. So I was just going to say onto your what's his name? Mostert.
Yep.
He is 14% owned in most leagues.
So he's available.
He's out there.
Yep.
All right. John.
So I got Frank. I also have Frank Gore.
Ooh, you liking Frank Gore?
I mean, I don't like Frank Gore. I feel like every year everybody like they call him Father Time. It's kind of like Larry Fitzgerald. You think he's done,
and then he comes back.
He's
Adrian Peterson.
So I think Frank Gore is one of those guys where like, don't go out and if you're doing if you have like a fab waiver wire pickup,
don't spend any cap on him.
Don't spend too much money on him. But he had 19 carries for 68 yards and a touchdown. So.
But without that touchdown, you're
Devin
not getting much.
Got hurt with a hamstring injury, I believe.
So we're seeing these falls of these running backs.
Yep.
Should we be spending more attention on trying to pick up good wide receivers then?
You know what? I feel like with wide receivers, they're like, there's so many wide receivers that are gonna be like boom or bust like every week. There's so many good receivers out there. You could probably stream them like even if you're hurting.
That's true.
I think you gotta like pay premium for a good running back.
Okay, so asking for a friend, if you are decent with your wide receivers and you may have Tyreek Hill on the bench who's hurt, but you are hurting for the running back position. Let's just say you happen to have Philip Lindsay. You happen to have Philip Lindsay, the Titans. Henry,
yeah.
You got Henry, and you have Sony Michel.
Okay.
And then in your depth, you picked up Kenyon Drake.
I think better days are ahead for Kenyon Drake.
You think so? Hold on to him?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's really crazy in Miami right now, and there's rumors that he's asking for a trade.
Oh, that's true.
He's commented on that. He said it's not true.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of controversy like in that locker room right now, but I think he's happy where he's at. I think he has a clear path to success.
But will they ever establish a run game?
I hope so. I mean, they've had 2 really hard games, and historically, I feel like the Dolphins start off really slow. And so, like, I have Kenyon Drake in 2 leagues, and I'm just putting him on the bench. I'm not really worried about it.
So do you keep him, or do you try to pick up Mostert?
If
you have
I would
Henry,
keep Kenyon Drake, man.
Really?
Yeah, or try to trade Kenyon Drake. I wouldn't drop him. He's a starting running back.
Well, then who do you drop? Who do you cut? Who do you cut if you have Jamison Crowder, T.Y. Hilton, Jones, Deshaun Jackson, and Kupp?
Probably Deshaun Jackson.
Really?
Yeah.
He was my number 1 pick last week.
Yeah, I know. I remember you picking him up. But the thing about him is, like, he's going to be out for at least 2 weeks I was looking into this. It's an abdominal injury. He should have surgery. He's opting not to, so that he can return in 2 weeks. If he has a surgery, he won't be back for 4 weeks. So I don't really have a lot of faith that like in 2 weeks he's going to be okay.
No.
So I mean, if he's a guy that like, and I feel like with Deshaun Jackson, he's like feast or famine. you start him 1 week and he goes off, and then the next week it's like nothing. So for me, Deshaun Jackson's always one of those guys every year since he's kind of fell out of like
That's true.
fantasy, you know.
That's
I
a
feel
good
like
point.
he kind of is one of those
You
guys
make
that
a good
always
case.
like I feel like in the last 2 years in fantasy, he's like undrafted. He's always an early waiver wire pickup, and I just feel like it doesn't shake out. So that would be my
All right.
advice.
Well, we'll touch on that on the waiver part of the show, because I want to counter that then with sorry.
Got it.
With Kansas City's new wideouts.
Yeah.
But really quick, let's cover Drew Brees.
Drew Brees
He done for a couple weeks.
Yep.
Big
I
Ben.
have him, so I'm feeling the pain.
Who you gonna swap in its place?
So I have Kirk Cousins as a backup, and I love Kirk Cousins. I don't know what's going on this season because he did great. He was a top 12 quarterback
That's
last year.
true. With Vikings.
I don't know what's going on. So I have him. I'm gonna hold on to him, but I think I'm probably gonna drop Brees because I don't want to hold on to him for 6 to 8 weeks, and I don't even know how Drew Brees is gonna come back with the hand surgery. So there's guys like on the waiver wire in my league, like Jimmy Garoppolo, Josh Allen, like Andy Dalton. I don't love, but you know he's been doing okay. He's like the last on my list, but those are just some guys that I'm thinking about. There's also some new quarterbacks that I'm probably not going to pick up, like Teddy Bridgewater is.
Oh, you're not gonna dance
I'm
with
not gonna
the
mess
bridge?
with that. No. And then there's also
what about Hill?
Daniel Jones. Is that his name? He's stepping in for Eli Manning because.
That's right. Yeah, he might be one to look at.
I'm gonna watch him.
And I would watch Hill, the Saints guy Hill. They were talking this morning about how they love him and they want to eventually make him the guy. I have Mahomes, but I'll give you Kyler Murray.
You're making trades.
You want Kyler
We'll
Murray?
have to talk later.
I mean,
I've
I
been
don't
trying
know
to shop
why.
around a lot of people today. I've been trying to get Russell Wilson from people in our league, and
I might drop Kyler Murray actually.
I'm trying to figure it out.
All
I'll
right.
probably just stream. You know, I tried to.
Yeah, you might have to stream. You know, you
trying
got
to
to
do backflips
scramble.
today, trying to
I know.
make trades, and it just wasn't really working.
No one
out.
was buying?
Yeah, everybody wanted Saquon Barkley from me, and it's like, no,
You
he's way
can't
too
give
consistent.
up. No. I'll give you Patrick Mahomes for Barkley and well, dude,
know.
Mahomes
I
puts
get
up
it. I get
double digits. Now we'll talk later. Anyway, so we got a lot of quarterback. A few of the faces of the franchises going down with Big Ben, which no one really, cares about him at this point.
Yep. Forgot about him.
Breeze, that's a disappointment. Trying to think what else happened. I'm sure there's a lot of other things that have
I feel like we should talk about Austin Eckler.
Yeah. So Austin Eckler, he had another killer game.
Yep.
And it's either he's because
He's doing
his
great.
talent, or is it because of the Chargers? Talent or Chargers?
I mean, he's good, and the Chargers' offense is looking okay. They're doing pretty good. You know, my only concern is like I have friends who have Austin Eckler, and he's like their like RB2, like even RB1. And the problem with that is, they just kind of did like heavy wide receivers. The problem with that is at some point, Melvin Gordon has to come back. I think by November. I was reading it I want to say it's November 30th, but I could be wrong.
But do they keep him?
Well, the thing is, he has to come back, or else, like it's something about his contract as far as his like whether he's eligible to be a free agent next year and things like that. So he's going to be back at some point. He might not be the starter, but he obviously they're paying him all this money. They're not gonna.
They got to run him.
You know.
Does he have a contract like Le'Veon Bell where he gets 330 touches or whatever that is?
I don't know if it's something like that. I just know that he has to return at a certain point. So he will be back in November unless they trade him, which I don't think is going to happen. So if you have him and you're like riding the wave right now, like in the next few weeks, like you probably need to start making like a contingency plan for that because
I was just gonna say maybe try to sell him.
Yeah,
try to trade him.
Sell high. I would sell high. I don't know. I mean, I would keep him. He's great. I just wait. You gotta feel it out.
A couple seasons or a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Definitely hold on to him. The next bit you got up. I mean,
I have one running back that I'm really excited to talk about on waivers, and I'm hesitant just because like you're in my league, and you know, like
can I guess?
Friends of ours. Yeah, you go ahead. You might have seen it on my notes, but I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about him, and I'm gonna.
Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, Carlos Hyde.
I mean, I'm not gonna pick him up in our league, but I have eyes on him in my other league that I'm in. Yeah. Honestly, like let me show you because I have. Well, okay, so I'm hurting for wide receiver or running
Okay.
backs. But I have the guy from Kansas City, Robinson, as my number one. Hopefully to get off the waiver. Probably won't get him. If I do, that's nice. But yeah, I'm going with San Fran's Monster, Mostert, whatever.
Mostert. He's got a weird name.
But he might go also. But if
Yeah.
I'm hoping to land Hyde because I think Hyde, like you said, he's at Houston
Here's the thing
now,
about
and
Hyde.
he's getting the. Why are you so high on him?
So I feel like I'm looking at other like media outlets, and I just feel like he's not getting any attention. And
That's
you
true.
look at the box
Definitely.
score, and I feel I could be wrong. We could look it up. I don't want to waste your guys' time. I think he's averaging like 5.6 yards a carry, and I think I have it in my notes here. I mean, he had like 90. I think he had 20 carries for 90 yards. No touchdown yet. So like if he's getting touchdown, if you add touchdowns to that, it's going to be crazy. But I mean, they brought in Duke Johnson from Cleveland, and now they have Carlos Hyde, who they played together in Cleveland. And I think everybody thought that Duke Johnson was like the clear-cut number one, and it's been the complete opposite. So I don't understand how all these analysts are like ignoring the fact that he's getting all this volume, he's getting all this work over by a decent margin. Now I get it, especially in a PPR league. Duke Johnson has the advantage just because he's involved in the passing game and Carlos Hyde isn't.
Right.
But that doesn't mean he doesn't have value, and I feel like he's way undervalued.
I know.
I personally believe he needs to be the number one waiver ad this week.
Carlos Hyde, you're going with
Number
Carlos Hyde
one.
as number one?
Number one. I mean, he got you
He got you
what,
9 points if
9
on
points,
fantasy
right?
on Yahoo.
decent, not great. Imagine if he gets a touchdown, you know. And he only got 20 carries. Well, 20 carries. Is
If you're
pretty
watching
good,
real
but
quick,
still.
you got any questions on this waiver wire coming up? Fill out the comment or give us the comment. We'll try to answer your questions.
Yeah.
We're talking running backs right now. So with Carlos Hyde, you think he's number one? He's over. You think
Yeah.
you're taking him over? You're taking him over San Fran's running
Yep.
back.
Yep.
You're
Because there's more work there, you know.
I mean, it's tight.
And Mostert had a good game this week, but last week he was okay, but not great. Carlos Hyde's been consistent. I feel like Carlos Hyde's one
I
of
don't
those
even
guys.
have him on my list.
I know that's the thing, and nobody has him on their list. And I feel like Carlos Hyde, I feel like his ceiling is probably lower than most, but
Mhm.
his floor is super high. Meaning, like he's a guy that if you want to throw in your flex and hope to get like 8 or 10 points, like you're probably gonna get it. you know?
Okay, well, another person that no one's talking about is the Connor injury
Oh yeah,
and
James
Jalen Samuels.
Mhm.
Samuels is owned in 30% of leagues
Yep.
as of right
He
now.
needs to be owned if
He needs to be owned as
especially
a
if you own-
handcuff.
yeah, especially if you own Connor.
Yeah, for sure. If you got Connor, we don't know as of right now how long if Connor's gonna play next week. So that might be a good chance. But then again, they haven't been looking too hot as it is anyway with Pittsburgh. You know.
Yep.
So, you might need to pass on that.
Yeah, that's why I'm not super high on him. But I see I totally understand the reason for that.
So you think if Frank Gore's got higher, or not high, Carlos Hyde has a bigger chance to surprise you?
Yeah, I just think he's getting more carries like week to week. I think he might have even caught like 3 receptions, which if you're in a PPR,
I mean, yeah,
it's a
with
little bump.
Deshaun Watson, I guess now. He got traded this week to them or beginning
No,
of this year?
Carlos Hyde was traded. I want to say I feel like it was right before or right after preseason.
Because he was going to be with the Chiefs.
It was going to be with the Chiefs. Yep.
Okay, then let's talk really quick. The committee that's in Tampa Bay right now, Barber.
Yeah, I have Barber on my list.
So is Barber a pickup too?
Yeah, I think so. I have a little more concern there, but I mean, I don't know if
He's
you have
on in
the
48% of Yahoo leagues.
I don't know what his stats were. I don't know. I know
He
did
got
decent.
23 rushing attempts on Thursday night,
Okay.
82 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. And his schedule by week 7, I don't know, unless they figure out what they're going to do with the committee. I mean,
Yeah.
you're kind of on the fence.
I feel like in deeper leagues, he's a good pickup. It
Yeah.
all depends on I could tell you a ton of running backs. It just depends on what's in your league. What your format is. Some of these guys you're probably going to want to stay away from if you're like in a 1 flex standard 10-team league.
10-team league.
A lot of these guys you might not even need. It just depends on what you have available.
Well, look at this really quick. So the Jalen Samuels thing. So James Conner's 1 yard touchdown on the very next play. Conner later hurt his knee in the second half, putting Samuels in the lead back spot. If Conner is to miss time, Samuels will be a must-have RB2 prospect ahead of Week 3. Now, you can only hope. I mean, you don't wish this on anybody like Conner. But if you don't have Conner, then you kind of have to wish it for it to happen. If you look at Jalen Samuels in the Pittsburgh schedule, I'm just seeing green money.
Yeah.
So, take a look at that.
Good schedule.
I don't know if you can. It's not gonna focus.
I just don't know how much time
they got a really good.
There's so much that happened this week. I try to get as much information.
I know.
As I could for the podcast.
But week 4, they're playing Cincinnati. Week 6, they're playing Chargers. Then they bye week, and then this is where you might get lucky if you have them. Week 8, Miami. 9, Indiana, Rams, Cleveland, Cincinnati again, and Cleveland again. Those guys they're in like the top 5 of most points awarded to the running back position. So you take a gamble, roll the dice on that. If he's an option that's on there and there's nobody else. Yeah,
I guess it just depends on how much time he's going to miss. But if you have him, pick him up, handcuff him.
Yeah,
just even for moving forward.
Moving forward, if you're hurting in the running back position or you have Conner, you better snag him. And if you have room, I would take him. I would take Raheem at San Francisco. And I agree with you. I'm going to go. I got to Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde, number 1. And if anybody else on the waiver is on there, take a look at them.
You want to talk wide receivers?
Wide receivers. Let's move into the wide receivers. Let me show you my list, and then you can whip out yours. Yeah. My wide receiver rankings, I'm taking Hardman.
Can I say one thing real quick and interrupt you?
Uh-huh.
I'm super stoked because I was super high on Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh yeah, you need to be praised for that.
Because here's the thing, I feel like so many people discredited me for this. Like I was drafting him in mock drafts in all of my. I'm playing in 3 leagues. I have him in all 3 leagues. Here's the thing, I didn't expect him to be. I think he's a top 4. He's number 4 at the position right now.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect him to be there, but I definitely didn't agree with his ADP where he was going like I want to say like in the 7th and 8th round.
Oh, he was going late.
I mean, he's the focal point of the offense no matter what. And so for me, I was like, I gotta get him. His value is so good, and I feel like it's definitely paying off right now. So if you have Sanders, go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back because
he was definitely overlooked.
Yeah, he was. So kudos to me and anyone else who was a believer in Emmanuel Sanders. But dude, he's coming off an Achilles injury, and he's playing like crazy.
I know,
it's insane.
Well, and he's available in my league, but I don't know what's his availability rate right now in the other leagues.
I can look. I'm sure.
If I was to hit the owned,
because he did great week 1 if he was available.
No, 78%. Yeah. So I can't believe he's not owned. Should I pick him up then? Really?
I would.
Number 1 then.
I would drop. Yeah, I would drop.
So you pick him over
any wide receiver you have over him.
Really?
He's the 4th. Look at his.
Yeah, 20 points, 23 points. Vince McDonald.
I played him in the flex every week in every league, and it's been great. I mean, he's getting like 80 to 90 yards, almost 100 last week in a game with a touchdown, and the targets are there. Like Flacco is throwing him the ball like any chance he can get.
Right.
So I think you've got to pick him up. I'm sure he's not available in your league, but if he is, go and get him.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Yep, and don't sell high on him. If you think it's one of those weird, like first 2 weeks he's doing good, don't hold on to him.
So if I have Tyreek Hill, am I spending my first week pick on Emmanuel Sanders or am I going for Hardman?
I would go for Sanders. We'll talk about these 2 Chiefs players. I'm kind of nervous about both of them, but
so what do you think? What are you thinking about? I mean,
I feel like they're being talked about the most, and there's a guy on that list that I can see already that you have who needs to be the number 1 pickup. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. But I don't love those 2 guys. I don't love them. I think they're going to be fine, and if you need a wide receiver and you don't have anybody else, like that's a pickup, but that's not my number 1.
You're looking at then Golden Tate?
Nope, but I have Golden Tate in a league, and I think he's a good pickup if he's available. If somebody like didn't draft him because of his 4-game suspension, or they dropped him because they needed bench spots, he's gonna be back in 2 weeks.
He's suspended.
Yeah,
and he'll be their number one receiver,
I think so,
right?
Yeah.
The New York Giants,
I mean,
and with the new quarterback at the helm.
Yep. So we'll see. Yeah, and that's another thing too is with this new quarterback, I don't know like what relationships he has in the locker room. Like with that every time you get a new quarterback, there might be like a shift in target shares. So like Sterling Shepard could become more
Dang, that's
valuable.
true. That's true. I mean, definitely put the watch on Golden Tate then.
Yep. Or maybe even wait till next week because he's not going to be back till week 5. So you have time.
That's smart. And then by then drop hard. Well, I don't know.
We'll talk about those two guys.
Yeah. So you got probably Allison on number 1 or what?
My number 1 is Terry McLaurin. He's on your list right
who's
there.
Who's he with?
2. He's Washington. So
is he taken?
Where's my notes?
Oh yeah, of course he's taken.
Right now he's averaging 90 yards and a touchdown a game.
Dang.
That's
pretty good.
He might be. I want to say he could be like a top 5 in the position. I want to look it up on ESPN.
I mean,
let me pull it up. Okay, he's positional rank 9. So last week he got 125 yards and a touchdown, and this week he got 62 yards and a touchdown. I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about him, but dude, he's blowing up, and I don't know who else they're gonna throw to.
Right, and then that's true. I mean, what other target can they throw to?
And we didn't really talk about, since we're on the topic of Washington, Adrian Peterson. If you're desperate, I know he got a touchdown last week. But I don't know. I'm not really biting at that. But if you're desperate, he's a
go
pickup.
with him.
If you're desperate,
not Chris Thompson.
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I don't like either of those running backs. So,
what about really quick on the running back topic? If Tevin Coleman's on your waivers, do you pick him up now and wait for his return, or
I don't know?
Because what's his name? Jimmy Garoppolo was looking nice. San Fran's, they're 2-0.
Yeah. There's just so many guys there. There's so many mouths to feed. I like Mostert, but I'm not big on like any of the 49er running backs right now because I feel like there's so many guys that are contributing, and for an NFL standpoint, like it's smart, right? Like, don't have one guy that's just getting all the carries, switching around. So for them, it's good, but for fantasy owners, I'm staying away from 49er running backs because it's got me nervous.
Who's better, Hooper or Vince McDonald? Vance McDonald.
I kind of like Vance McDonald.
For the rest of the season?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I got a hard schedule. I mean, yeah, he's gone. He got 2 touchdowns last weekend, which is nice.
Yeah. I hate the tight end position.
I know.
Greg Olsen's available in a lot of leagues.
Well, yeah, and he just got picked up. This guy picked up Greg Olsen during the game on Thursday, so we got to fix that in the league. But
that should be locked.
Oh yeah, they were saying if you have O.J. Howard, they're using O.J. Howard as a pass blocker a lot, and which is ridiculous. And they're like, oh no, targets will come. So I'm giving him one more week, which is probably it's gonna be a mistake. But of course, I guarantee I'll drop him, and then he'll get 2 touchdowns, 58 yards, whatever. It'll be something sick.
I think Mark Andrews is probably the number 1 tight end. I know we're still talking about.
How did your guy? I know you predicted last week. What's his name?
Terrible.
Did he?
TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Total fall from grace. So we'll see.
Good.
We'll see how
Glad
it goes.
I didn't get him.
I still like him season long, but yeah.
Oh gosh.
Hype train kind of stopped.
Whoops. After 1 week.
Yeah.
It's tough. Tight ends just really, really suck unless you have Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce. Actually, I don't know.
Who's not on your list that's really disappointing?
Who?
I'm kind of mad at you. DK Metcalf, who I picked up in our league after the draft was over. I made some adjustments.
Is he on waivers?
He
was it TK?
DK Metcalf.
D.K.
Yeah, or just type in Metcalf. Dude, he's killing it right now. I'm a little nervous about him. I'm actually trying to sell high on him in a lot of leagues let me see if I can pull up his stats.
Touchdown.
He's averaging like
reception.
6 to 7 targets a game.
Not bad.
He's kind of like a deep threat.
Yeah.
He's getting fewer receptions. He's getting like, he's getting touched. I think he got it. Yeah. Yep. Hauls in a touchdown. So that's cool. Like he's definitely like a deep threat.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Lockett's still the number one.
Oh yeah.
But Russell Wilson's been great, and someone else needs to get targets. So I feel like he's more of like it's hard because I feel like he's kind of like why can't I think of his name right now? He used to play in Baltimore. Oh, Crabtree.
Oh, Crabtree.
Like Crabtree's one of those guys where like he's not going to get a lot of like in a PPR league where you want, like I think about Adam Thielen last year was getting like 10 receptions a game. Like Crabtree. I feel like DK Metcalf and Crabtree are similar.
Yep.
They're gonna get deep balls. They're gonna get touchdowns, but it's gonna be kind of scary week to week, like feast or famine, because they're not getting a lot of targets. They're getting like 6 or 7. So and another down on DK Metcalf, and this was his problem in college too. He drops the ball a lot.
Oh, is he?
But he's a good player. He's got speed.
Drops the balls.
His speed is insane. So, but the thing is he's gonna drop some balls. But I think he's a. I don't know. I don't want to say he's my number one, but he's up there pretty high. Like, if he's available in your league, I like him over a lot of these guys.
That's true.
Just depends.
So yeah, I mean, it seems right now on the waivers. Excuse me. You are drafting people like Hardman and who are all these other people replacing these injured people? There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. So you are, sadly, you're not getting anybody that has long-term value unless, like you said, there's the Emmanuel Sanders,
right?
Carlos Hyde, who can eventually take over the lead role. Golden Tate will probably take over the lead role. You're not going to see Geronimo Allison take over the lead role.
Right.
Godwin.
But he's a good pickup too.
He's a good pickup. Yeah, I mean, he got his touchdown, and
I think he's the
Rodgers
number. I think he's the number 2.
Pickup.
No, the number 2.
Oh, for sure on Green
target,
Bay. Yeah. And then the split committee we were going to touch on with Kansas City, right? Or never mind, that was the wide receivers.
The 2. I feel like a lot of people are like.
But now there's
between those 2.
Damian Williams. He's injured. Is Shady McCoy on Kansas City, right? Is he supposed to come in and play, or the rookie?
Yeah, he's been playing. I actually have him in one league. I think he's going to do better. I mean, he played with Andy Reid, which is kind of cool.
Right.
So, like, when I drafted him and he got traded, I was like, okay.
Hey,
is kind of
call me Daddy 101. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Right. Well, and that's the thing. Was that you?
What?
On the sub thing?
No.
Oh. Well, I'm
trying to pull up. Who were we just talking about?
I don't know. That sub threw me off. I think that we were talking about Kansas City.
McCoy.
Oh, McCoy. Shady McCoy. I don't know. DJ Clark.
Here's my thing about LaShawn McCoy, right? He's been in the league for a while, and I'm looking at his stats. He's not going to be involved in the passing game, So, but if Devin Singletary's out, he was the guy, I mean, it was a committee.
Yeah.
But now it's like he looks a little bit more appealing. And to be fair, week 1 he gets 10 carries. This week he gets 11. So, I mean, I feel like there's hey, what's up? There's and he's been running not great. Like week 1 was good. He had 81 yards for 10 carries. That's pretty damn good. That's not going to happen every week.
Right.
But I think there's value there. So if you have McCoy, just
stash.
I guess just keep praying.
Try to and hope he takes over the role, because I mean, I don't know. And once again, coming down to like how I viewed players from how they played last year, like I hold that against him with the Bills. Like he just was a letdown, and
I just feel like
I don't know
if he can be like a fraction of what he was with Andy Reid in Philly. That would be crazy. I feel like there's a connection there. I was excited when he went over there. Devin Singletary's out now. I'm not going crazy over him, but I think that if you have him, I think there's better weeks ahead for McCoy. So don't drop him.
Don't drop him. Quarterbacks. Josh Allen's probably the one that comes to mind.
Wide receivers?
Oh, would you have another one?
I know there's a ton of names on that list. We can just hit a couple of them. Nelson Aguilar in deeper leagues.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely a guy you could pick up.
Yep.
Golden Tate, we talked about that. DJ Shark in Jacksonville is going crazy. I think to me, he's like
owned.
if I'm not going to go all through that list right there, but like my top 3 waiver wire pickups in this order would probably be Terry McLaurin, number 1, DK Metcalf, and number 3 would probably be Shark. Just the targets that are there, man.
Even when didn't one of the the quarterbacks just go out? Jacksonville.
I think so.
Yeah. Eagles, homeboy.
My man.
Came in.
Trevor Siemian got hurt.
No, the quarterback.
Trevor Siemian.
Oh man,
plays for the Jets.
What's his name, guys? Help us out. The quarterback of the Eagles 2 years ago. Not Foles. Yeah, he got snapped up first week.
Oh yeah. I don't even know where he is anymore. Dude. He moves around the league so much. I should probably know that, but
anyway, yeah. So DJ Shark, check him out.
He's good. I feel like I might have
Golden Tate, like we said, is a sneaky play. He's a sneaky play. Chris Godwin. Now that finally we're getting Jimmy G back to some good old him playing finally playing some good football. There's a chance those values in those wide receivers now go up.
DJ Shark, he hit right now. The targets are there, and he's averaging 100 yards and a touchdown every single game. So you're looking at I don't even know about PPR, but he's getting you at least 16 points each week. I don't know what your scoring is, but look up, just type in his last name, probably be easier.
Junior.
Yep. What are his points the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, he got 4 targets for 146 yards.
That's insane.
1 40-yard record touchdown. 9 targets for 7. 9 targets, recorded 7, 55 yards, and that touchdown saved you on that day.
Yeah, so he's going off.
He's got a tough schedule the rest of the year, though. I mean, that's a gamble in itself.
I like him over a lot of these guys on the list that I'm looking at.
Yeah, well, he's an option up there. I threw him up there just because,
And then we got Hardman and Robinson, both from Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm looking if they're all available.
I don't know. I feel like I kind of like Robinson more, but I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I don't like the
super
I
tough.
feel like what's normal in fantasy on the waiver wire pickups is people just go at the players, see who's available. They hit they make it to where the scoring is in order, and they just whoever scored the most last week. And I'm like, I'm not a big fan of that because look at TJ Hawkinson, right? He was probably a really hot pickup, and I think he got 1 point last week. So it's I don't want to be reactive when it comes to fantasy. I want to kind of look. I try to watch as much football as I can and see what did were there touchdowns that were called back that could have potentially been more points that are not really. That aren't really accounted for, that you're not going to see in the box score. And for me, I want to see a lot of targets. So if a guy's getting 12 targets a game and his yardage is lower, that's what I do personally. I'm going for targets.
That's true,
especially in a PPR league.
Well, and yeah, I mean you're right with Emmanuel Sanders. He's someone that's been reliable twice.
Yep.
2 weeks in a row.
He's going to be I'm going to say easily a top 20 wide receiver the rest of the season. Easily. A lot of guys that were drafted way over him.
And you really think to hold Drake?
Kenyon Drake, yeah. I think better days are ahead in Miami. It's a mess right now. They had 2 really. Who did they play week 1? They played Patriots last week.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't know.
They shut him out.
They had some hard. And there's just a lot of controversy there. When there's drama in the locker room, it kind of breaks up the cohesion,
Well, yeah.
So it's hard.
I mean, they got Dallas next week.
They just trade. I feel like they just traded away one of their defensive backs to I can't remember where he went. I want to say the Saints, but I could be wrong, for a first round pick next year. So they're trying to rebuild, and I think they like him. So we'll see. Kalen Ballage, though, might want to pick him up as a handcuff to Drake.
Or not even touch the Miami team as a whole.
Yep.
Your number 1 streamer defense of the week is?
Ooh, it just depends on what's available in your league. It's hard.
I'm going Cowboys.
Yeah.
Cowboys
playing?
against the Miami, baby.
Yeah, whoever's playing Miami is
Gotta
what I'm
throw
gonna
that
say
up
every
there.
week.
That's my number one streamer. This puts us right over the 40-minute mark, which we are well over time. We try to keep we cover everything. We try to keep things short and sweet. So we have the recap. We got the waiver wire pickups for you guys. Let us know below in the comment section if you have any questions, anything we can improve on. We appreciate you guys tuning in.
Yeah, if there's content you guys want to see, just let us know.
Let us know more content if you want us to throw up a video, like highlights or whatever. Like I said, we'll try to get these out sooner.
Sunday night is the goal.
Sunday night is the goal, right after the game or during the halftime show. Yeah. So, thank you guys for watching. This is Anything at All. I'm Zach, joined by John, and we'll see you guys next Sunday, hopefully.
Guys.
Thanks for tuning in. Good luck this weekend.